More all-time highs coming in here for us on the week and the day. 714.47 in SPY was our high in here. We actually closed just below 714, about 6 cents off of it here on Friday. So going forward, we have all our eyes focused next week on that all-time high that we just hit in here today. But then more or less outside of that, we are going to be focusing on that overall 720 area, which is right here. I know we've been discussing that for a little while now. That's more or less where this overall top of the trend line of this overall structure is going to be. So that's what we're focusing on. So what do we do between now and that 720 level? We're letting the chart kind of dictate where our resistances are going to be, correct? So 715, 16, 17, etc. Working our way up, letting the chart kind of tell us where our resistances are going to be between now and then. To the downside in here, what are we looking at? Well, we're going to look at the high that came in last week, 712.39. We're also going to look at the 710, 705, 702, and then we're looking at this 695 area right here. That is going to be our overall supports to the downside in here. I know we also like that 700 psych level, but really 695 is where we kind of need to pull back and then get a full reset in here. And then we can be off to the races again. But overall, those supports that we just mentioned in here, the 712, 710, 705, 702, those are going to be nice little step stools if we do end up getting a larger push down that we are going to need to be focusing on. Your overall volume in here looks like it was slightly below average as it was as compared to the past few weeks in here. So we're going to see if next week we can kind of pump that up a little bit. But you also have to take into consideration that our RSI right here, it is sitting at 64. So it's a little bit above that overall month moving average right in here, but yet it is still not necessarily overbought. So we're a little bit less than overbought. We're a little bit higher than neutral. So we have to kind of keep that into consideration as we're moving forward. These two big green candles right in a row in here on the weekly chart, coupled with this lighter candle that we just had in here, I guess smaller overall, the body and the wick and everything. We do have to kind of take that in consideration too. So it's looking a little top heavy in here, but again, we're still going to be overall focused on that 720 resistance as our main overall resistance going forward. But again, it might take some time to get there. I mean, remember when we were back here in these 695s and bouncing our head up in these 693s and things like that? We kept on saying 700, 700. I mean, eventually we did get there, but that was our overall main long-term resistance that we were watching. But we just kind of said, hey, let the chart kind of dictate what's going on. And that's exactly what happened. So again, we could have a repeat of this. You can see, I mean, look how many months in here we were just in those 680s to about 690s before we kind of got flushed out in here and then a nice rip. We could do that again, or we could just go up and bang our head on that 720 and then go from there. You know what I mean? Who knows? But again, that is kind of what we're looking at overall going into next week. Another big week of earnings in here. Crazy week if you kind of just think about what happened this past week. I mean, you can look at CAR, you can look at the Intel earnings that we just had. So there's going to be more earnings and things like that coming up this week. So everybody buckle up and see what could happen as we're looking forward in here. Monday, you have a $5 expected move. So pretty decent expected move being priced in here by your options traders. Put skew in here. So obviously the risk has now shifted to the downside overall. That's why I said looking a little top heavy overall. Tuesday, $7 expected move. Wednesday, 9. Thursday, 11. If you go all the way to the next Friday, almost a $12 expected move being priced in by your options traders in this underlying. So decent size expected moves in here. Put skew IV is a little bit elevated in here. That's because everybody's starting to protect and hedge themselves. So let's see as we continue throughout the end of the month in here, how that is going to change everything. And then as we're just plowing through this earning cycle, we're going to see what happens and how that is going to affect the overall market. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you are interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.